2.
Okay, so task number 2 for today is you take your pieces that you've cut, the long piece and the short piece, and what you're aiming to do is create a halving joint on the end of each part. I'm going to show you one halving joint for one corner, how to mark that out and fit it together. So first thing you do, the most important step, take your 2 pieces, put them together so it looks like a T. Once you've done that, you can mark across the thickness line. That's how far down you can cut. You can turn your piece to its side and repeat all the way around. What that helps you do is it helps you keep your saw and your cutting and your filing as straight as possible. Once you've done it on one long piece, you'll need to repeat for your short piece. Create a T shape, hold it as straight as you can, and mark all the way around. Try not to rush this part. Try and keep it as steady as you possibly can. The more accurate you are at this stage, the better it will be for when you're cutting. And you need a thickness line all the way around one end. What you'll then need to do is take it to a vise, secure it in a vise so that the piece you've marked is facing up, and get yourself one of these. This is a marking gauge. Marking gauge works like this. You can turn the dial and it moves the stock, that's the fatter part, along the stem, which is the sort of rod part. Your aim is to take that nail, that pin, and put it 9mm away from the stock. What you'll have to do is tighten it in place and just double check that when you've tightened it, it hasn't moved. Once it's 9mm, you're happy with it being secure, hold the marking gauge right up against the edge of your wood. Your 2 hands will help you keep it steady, and carefully drag that pin across the top. You also need to carefully hold it against the edge and drag the pin down the side, going down to where you marked your thickness line. And you need to do the same on the opposite side. Keep it as steady as you can. These are brand new, so it'll be a bit of practice for you. What you can then do is take your pencil and mark across the top. And what you can see there is you've marked it in half. I'm colouring the side that I'm going to cut out. Next part, leave that in the vise, get your tenon saw, hold your tenon saw on that mark, just put it to one side of the mark where you've coloured in the waist side, and carefully cut straight down to your thickness line. Once you hit the thickness line, or just before, just pause, and then take it out of your vise, and you can put it back into your vise sidewards. If you'd rather, you can put the bench hook back in and use the bench hook instead. But I think I've got enough space to cut down to the halfway line. I'm going to use my thumb there as a guide. I'm going to hold it against the saw, but be careful that you don't touch the teeth. I'm going to use that as a guide to keep it straight. Get the saw cutting first, and I can move my finger away and then cut straight down until it falls out. And that's my first halving joint done. I then repeat the process for the short side until they fit together.